Hey everybody, Rex here. We're going to do another image transfer video. This time we're going to make some t-shirts. And we're going to be using a product that I'm testing out. I'll tell you more about it right after the intro. All right, welcome back. Okay, so like I said in the beginning there, I'm going to be making some t-shirts with image transferred onto them. I'm going to be doing light color fabric and dark color fabric, and I'm going to be doing both the heat press type application and using the good old home iron application so that you can see both kinds. Now, what I'm going to use for the image transfers is the AceSub product here. The fine folks from Koala sent this to me and said, hey, give it a try, see what you think. And I said, okay, I think I will. So they sent this to me. You have the light fabric transfer paper and you have the dark fabric transfer paper. So let's get right into it and let's start making some super cool t-shirts. So I'd have my heat press heated up to, looks like 352. It needs to be anywhere from like 340, let's see, it's 347 to 365. And for 25 to 30 seconds, I got this set for 30 seconds. So it's nice and hot and ready to go. All right, I have a light colored garment on here. And so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to preheat it for a couple of seconds. You want medium tension on the heat press. Okay, nicely pressed. Now what we're going to use is the light color AceSub transfer paper. So you can see that it's been printed mirrored. And it's very important that you only use an inkjet printer with this paper. Do not put this paper in a laser printer. It will destroy your laser printer because heat is what causes this to transfer, and laser printers use heat to print. Don't put this in a laser. Inkjet printer, print it mirrored. And you can see it's in red letters. If these are blue letters, it's for dark colored. And it's a completely different thing. You won't be mirroring those. All right. So I want to make sure that this is upright like so. And one thing you can do is a nice little trick is if you want to make sure that you're going to get this thing centered, okay, is give it a nice little crease in the top and the bottom like so. So that way you know that you have the orientation correct. And then when you put it down, you can line up that crease straight up and down. You want at least 4 inches from the bottom of the collar there. So it looks like about right there. Looks about centered. All right, here we go. And that's it. Okay, and we're gonna let this cool off now. Now, what you wanna make sure is this thing cools down. I have found from experience that if you pull this off while it's still hot, you can pull some of the image off. It just looks a little spotty. And so by letting it cool down completely, we get the best quality transfer. All right, so. And if you find it's not adhering well, because everybody has different heat presses, different irons, just put some silicone paper on top and press it with your iron a little bit just to make sure that it's secured. But it feels like it's on there pretty good. So it's cooled down. Now we're gonna go ahead and do the reveal. And if you find it a little tricky, just get inside with your shirt there and just kind of help it along from the inside here. There we go. Once you get it started, then it's easy after that. Okay, so I got a little tear going there, so here we go. And it should peel off really nice. Now look at that. That is absolutely gorgeous. Look at that. That is beautiful. Okay, let me get that camera in there so you can see that better. Look at that, okay? And that looks really nice. It has a really nice feel to it. And wait 24 hours before you throw this in the wash. And also make sure you turn the shirt inside out before you wash it. But this is absolutely gorgeous. Now, I can tell I didn't align it very well. The Lakers on the bottom could have been moved over here, but that's my fault, not anything else, you know. But look at that. Isn't that nice? Wow. Okay, now we're gonna do a dark shirt. Okay, now we're gonna do this black t-shirt. And what I've done is I folded this t-shirt perfectly in half so that I can iron a crease in here because I want to be able to find out exactly where the middle is. But I'm going to take this iron, and without taking the crease out, I'm just going to pre-iron the area here that I want to transfer to. Okay, and this is really important, so make sure you do this. All right, now this one is a little different. One, as I mentioned before, you're not going to print it mirrored. You're going to use an inkjet printer. Again, don't use a laser on this paper, any of them, the light or the dark. Use an inkjet printer. And this one you do not mirror because this one requires peeling off. And I found this to be a little on the tricky side, so just be careful that you don't destroy your printed image in trying to separate this. I have been trying to figure out the best way to do this, and all I can do is just keep fiddling with the edge, and hopefully that I'll be able to do it without destroying the image.
A few moments later.
You want to peel it off. But see, in messing with it, I kind of ruined it a little bit right there. So I am frustrated with that aspect of it. I'm sure there's a trick to it. I'll have to play around with it. But anyway, just consider it my fault. But I think that's centered like so. Okay, there's my line right there. Okay, about 4 inches down. Okay, that looks real good. And now you use silicone paper and you put the silicone paper on top and use the iron. And make sure you get it all really well. Doesn't take very long. Just give it some good pressure. Make sure you use the nose of the iron and get the edges really, really good. And let me tell you, do not ever put this iron directly on the transfer paper itself. You need to have this silicone paper in between, all right? Or you can use baking sheet. Those baking sheets, like a parchment paper or something, that'll work as well. Let it cool down. Whew. Just let it cool down before you start peeling things off. All right, that way you get good adhesion. That is hot. Boy, is that hot. That was hotter than the heat press. So that should be on there really, really good. All right, so we'll wait for this to finish. All right, and there you go. Look at that. That looks really good. So I'm really impressed. This looks really good. I will have to admit though that the quality of the ink print on the dark colored transfers doesn't seem to come out as good as the light colored one, because I keep getting this, really, it's not a big deal, but I'm kind of a perfectionist. But you have this slight like whitening you see here, okay? And I keep getting that when I do this, especially with the iron. Now the heat press might actually do a better job in that regard, but this is made for an iron too. So anyway, you play with the temperature and so forth, and but I mean overall, unless someone's going to stick their nose right in my chest, which at least buy me dinner first, there you go. That looks pretty good. It just messed up a little bit when I was trying to peel it, but there it is. See that? Pretty good, huh? Okay, I'm going to do the dark fabric transfer paper again, and this time I'm going to be using the heat press. I went on Google Images. I'm looking for something that has to do with Mario Brothers, because a young 15-year-old kid that I know is a son of a friend of mine happens to like Mario, as well as food on his shirt. And I don't mean literal food, but pictures of food. So I decided to go with the Mario theme. And I found this one picture here. So I went ahead and downloaded that. And then I'm going to print it out on the paper. Okay, so I loaded the image up into my Affinity photo software. You can use any photo software you have. And I made the background gray to get it as close to the fabric color as possible. And now I'm going to go ahead and print that. I want the best photo setting here, and I went ahead and selected matted paper. I'm not sure that really made a difference, but then I went ahead and printed it out. All right, you can see my Mario brother is being printed up in my inkjet. I currently am using pigment inks in my printer. It is recommended, and I just happen to be using it. And you can see that that came out pretty good. My printer does kind of make these little bands go across the image, which I'm not too happy about, but that's an issue with my printer. It's got a bad jet. But other than that, that looks pretty good. The fabric looks really good. Denim there, the glow off the shoe. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. All right, so I'm over at the craft table now, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut around the image, but I'm going to leave about 1/8 of an inch of the gray background around the edges, because that will hopefully blend in with the gray of the shirt. I tried to pick a color that was close to the shirt color. I could have gone a little darker gray, as you'll see when I'm finished, but it's not a big deal. It works pretty good. Now, right there near the hand, you'll notice that I'm not cutting up to the hand itself, that I left kind of a tab to the border of the paper. And the reason for that is, if you recall earlier, I kind of messed up the edge of my image a little bit trying to peel the paper from the backing. Well, this time I decided to be smart about it and leave some extra area there to work with. And once I peel it, then I can go ahead and cut that closer to the outline of the image. So that way I don't, accidentally ruin the image itself. And it, as you will see, worked out quite well. All right, now you can see right here that tab that I left there on the very end. Okay, and I'm going to be able to now separate the two pieces, the front from the backing, and not have to worry about ruining the actual image. What I did is I bent it really sharp, and it helped to separate the two. And once I got it started, then I'm just going to stick something in between to keep them separated so that I can peel them later, as you will see. But when the time comes, I will cut the rest of that off. All right, you see how I got that separated there? So I'm just going to stick something in there. What I have found is, you know, that it really isn't necessary to stick anything in there at all, because it doesn't seem to re-stick itself to the backing. It's like once you peel it from the backing, it seems to stay kind of detached from it, and that's a good thing. But you see here, I just decided, just in case, to stick something in between, kind of like a bookmarker, you know, and go with that. I mean, it doesn't hurt. Okay, and just like I did with the light fabric transfer, which was the first one I did in this video, I'm using the heat press again this time. We already seen the iron, now we're going to see the heat press. I really like the heat press because, you know, you can get the temperature set, you know what the temperature is because there's a readout. With the iron, you're really going to need to test it to find the right heat setting. You know, you always start with the highest setting and kind of work your way back. But we're going to be using the same temperature we did with the light fabric at 30 seconds. I got it something like set for 352 degrees or something like that. So right now it's just warming up. And while it's doing that, I can feel safe about going in here and measuring where the center is so that I can put the transfer right on the center. And of course, I'm going to pre-press this shirt just as I did before. Now you only need to press it for just a few seconds when you're doing a pre-press. Just hold it down for a few and then let it go, and it's good to go. Okay, now here's something a little different that I thought I would do, is to protect the inkjet printing that's on the transfer paper when it's in the wash. Because it's different than the light fabric transfer paper, which you put face down so that the clear coating is actually on the outside. You can't see it because it's a transparent. But the dark fabric transfer paper, your printing is on the very top. So I'm using this clear coat here, and I'm just going to put a nice light coat on it, let it dry, and then when it's dry, I'm going to go ahead and press it on the shirt. And I know this clear coat's really good because I tried it on my own transfer paper, and it really helps to resist any kind of wear from the wash machine. Just a little trick. Okay, I'm glad I pre-peeled this because it's going to make it really easy. Here at the hand, remember I had already had it peeled. So now we're going to go ahead and separate the backing from the paper. Okay, and now we're going to go ahead and position the image to the exact spot that I want it centered, about 4 inches down from the collar. Make sure none of it is folding over on you underneath. I see a little part here, I flatten it, real simple. Just kind of help it along there a little bit. Once you know you've got it exactly where you want, you pressed it down. Now go ahead and press it for 30 seconds. At least 30 seconds for me. Okay, now the pressing is done. I went ahead and turned my heat press off because I knew I wasn't going to be pressing anymore. And I'm going to bring this over to the craft table and let it cool down. Now I can immediately notice with my hand that it is not as hot as it was using the iron, so that was kind of a tip off that I may have my iron too hot, because this just looks fantastic. I was very, very pleased with this, and my young friend, he really liked it. It came out great. Just checking the edges here, making sure that it's seamless, that it just kind of flows into the shirt like it's part of the shirt, which it does look like. It feels great. I'm really happy with it. Now, when I had colored the background of that image gray, I was kind of hoping to get closer to the color of the shirt, but hey, it's not bad. But try to get as close as you can, because then the image kind of goes seamless right into your fabric when you use a color background that is very close to the color of the t-shirt that you're using. But look at that. That came out really good. And I apologize for my camera shake here. I don't want to give anyone vertigo. I already have an issue with that from time to time, but that looks fantastic. I decided to take it outside in the sunshine in my front yard here, just so that you can really see how nice that came out. It looks really great. I'm really pleased with the product, how it came out, and it's going to make a really nice gift. So there you go. You can see that the dark paper works really great. The light paper works really great. Of course, I'm biased to the light paper because of the method is different. You mirror it, you put it down, and it has the clear coating already built in. But the dark, if you know a couple of tricks, hey, your imagination is the limit. And here's the young man wearing the shirt that I gave him. And here are some photos of other shirts that I made using this paper.
Well, that brings us to the end of this video. I had fun making it because I really enjoy doing image transfers. That's why I started this channel and separated it from the Rick's Can Do It channel so that I can focus on art over there and I can do all my fun little image transfers here. And it's also nice to try out different products, especially when companies are willing to send it to me. And so, full disclosure, this was sent to me. I did not pay for it, but I definitely wanted to try it. And of course, if any other transfer company wants to send me items to try out in front of you, well, I'm not going to say no. Just get a hold of me. Anyway, if you're interested in this, the A-Sub, it's from the folks at Koala. I'll have a link, of course, down in the description area, and you might check, maybe there's a discount code or something there at the time. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this. In the next video that I'm going to be doing, I'm going to show you a trick that you can use products such as the light fabric transfer paper, but to do laser printed transfers. All right, so make sure that you subscribe. Click the notification bell so you'll be informed of that upcoming video and many others. And I thank you so much for supporting the channel and watching this video. See you in the next one. Bye.